Hi everyone, this is Kishore and welcome to Excel Learning Program. In this session, we are going to learn all about page layout. So, I have some data over here from column A to column J. I want to print this entire portion. Now, there are two ways to print. One is using Control P, a shortcut key on the keyboard. If you use Control P, print preview along with print options will be available over here like this. Or you can also click on File, then click on Print. This is how we can print the sheet. But if you observe over here, the entire sheet is from column A to column. So my intention is to print column A to column J, whereas if you observe in the print preview, I am able to view only from column A to column I. It means from country to November only. So you can observe over here, Control P. See, up to November only I am able to see. But my intention is to print December also on the same sheet. How can I make a change? Now, if you observe, there are three kinds of views. One is normal view, which we are working with. Another one is page layout view. It is bottom right side of your Excel sheet. You can observe over here, page layout view. Another one is page break preview. Let us go and check page layout view. I am clicking on page layout. As and when I click on page layout, unlike print preview, you can change whatever you want under page layout, but under print preview you cannot change anything. See, I am using Control P. Here, if I want to change anything in this portion, I cannot change anything over here. If you come to page layout view, this is similar to the print preview, but you can make any modifications, whatever you want. If you want to enter anything else, you can also enter like this. That is the difference between page layout view and print preview. So earlier of 2007 versions, this page layout view is not available. Now, if you observe, there is a ruler on the top of the sheet. Here is the ruler. If you observe the ruler, here is some gray area, here is the white area. So the intersection point of this white area and gray area is this one. If you keep your cursor position on the intersection point of these two areas, you will find a black headed cursor. If you keep the cursor position on that area, it will show you whether your sheet ruler is in inches or millimeters and so on. If you want to change from inches to millimeters and so, you can also do the same thing. Under options, advanced, there will be display options over here. So ruler units. So now it is in default units. If you want to change from inches to millimeters, okay, now you can observe earlier it is 1.1 something like that. Now you can observe that has been changed to millimeters. Now I would like to stick with default option. advanced, display, default units, click OK. See, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So now these are inches. So up to November only I am able to print. I want to include this December. Now what I am going to do is, here if you observe, left margin and right margin is also available, which we can include some data. Now I am increasing my right margin a bit by selecting the intersection point of this page layout view on the ruler. I am increasing, sorry, we need to decrease, no, we have to increase this. Now see, as and when I increase this intersection point on the ruler, the next column which is available in the next sheet is included into the target sheet or the first sheet. So now if you click on Control P or print preview, you can observe December is also included. This is how we can include respective columns into the page. However, if you observe the entire page, you can see the left margin is higher than the right margin. How can we center this page? See, if you observe, the left margin is more whereas the right margin is less. So I would like to center this page. How can I do that? Go to page setup dialog, click here, go to margins, center on page. Here is an option called center on page. You will have two options over here. How would you like to center your page? Would you like to center your page horizontally or vertically or both? As per your requirement, you can do the same. Please observe the preview over here. As and when I click on horizontally, the preview has been changed like this. See, earlier it is like this. Now when I click horizontally, it has been aligned horizontally or centered horizontally. Click OK. Now, but still it is having some more extra over here, extra margin. Now how can we set that? Go to margins. Now it is in custom margins. Let us go to normal or wide, narrow or something. So let us click on center. I have selected narrow. Now if you can observe, both are having the same. See, now both the sides are having same length in margin. So now it is being centered. Clear. By setting the margins, you can adjust the page. Now let us look at page setup and margins. There are different kinds of margins will be available over here: normal, wide, narrow, and last custom setting. If you set anything from custom margins, that will also be available. You can either select your last custom setting or by default normal, wide or narrow. However, you can also adjust the margins. Top, how much margin would you like to leave? And for header area, let us look at header and footer later. And on left portion, how would you like to see the page or margins and all? Right and bottom and footer area, this we have already observed. You can also increase or decrease by clicking on these spin buttons. Based on your selection, these margins will be changed. If I increase this to 0.75%, see now how it is appearing. See now the distance between from point and to point is more. So first margin is higher than the left margin is higher than the right margin. Like this, you can also increase or decrease the page margins, left side, right side, top or bottom. Now I would like to go ahead with existing margins as is, like this. Now we have observed margins. You can set all your margins. You can also see how it look like. After clicking on print preview, you can see how your print preview will look like. Let us go to first tab, page. Under this page we have different options. One is portrait option, another one is landscape. How would you like to print this page? Would you like to print this page landscape or portrait? If you click landscape, see what will happen. See, as and when I select landscape, the other portion of the page is also included some portion into the current page which I would like to print. If you click on Ctrl P, now you can observe, since you are giving printout under landscape, this portion is also increased. So the page has been increased or extended to other part of the Excel sheet. Now I would like to go on with portrait format, portrait orientation. Now you can see scaling. So how can we utilize this scaling? How can we get benefit out of it? Now let us go to sheet 5. Let us see, Control P. Now I have some data in this sheet. In the earlier sheet we have data up to December. Now my data is not only December, again it's been started with Jan, Feb and March in the next year. Can I print the entire sheet along with all these columns into single sheet? Now there is an option called scale to fit. Click on scale to fit. Here it is, scaling. Now if you observe, there is an option called fit to page 1. Click OK. Now if you observe, width and height is changed from automatic to page, and scale is changed to 32%. Since your intention is to print the entire columns into single sheet. Now scale has been changed from 100% to 32%. You can also increase the scale manually or decrease the scale manually. However, fit to option will give us accurate result. So at what point the entire area of this particular sheet will be fit into single sheet to give a printout. Now if we use Ctrl P, the entire sheet is fit into single sheet. See, this is how it look like. This can be happen by selecting scale to fit option. Here if you observe, my intention is to print only from here to here, but I am able to print this one also. How can we avoid? Let us see later. Now I would like to change to automatic. This is also automatic. Now it is showing me 54% only. Now if you see, when I select the width is automatic, height is automatic, and scale, now it is showing 54%. As and when it is, I have changed scale to 54%. When I use Ctrl P or when I use this page layout view, now I am able to print up to R column. See, this is how I am able to print. Now some portion has been left. We can also increase to 76%. When I increase to 76%, one of the columns have been moved from one page to another page. You can also set your scale like this so that you can observe live. So at 70% I am able to fit into the same page like this. See, this is how we can fit into the single page. Fine. You can also observe these are page breaks. This is page break. This is page break. You can observe this is a page break. However, we can edit, insert and delete the. We are going to learn all about page under page preview, inserting, deleting and modifying the page breaks. From here you cannot do anything. You cannot change or modify the page break. Now we observe these margins. Orientation, we have observed whether you want portrait or landscape. Size, how would you like to print this page, whether you would like to print this page as A4, A3 or letter size or so on. If you select A4, if you observe, as and when I select the A4, earlier my margin is up after April when I select the letter size, but when I select A4 size, now I'm able to print up to March. Based on the paper selection also, you can see up to which point you are able to print. What I am doing is I am decreasing the scale size. Now when I decrease the scale size to 65%, I am able to print April also into the sheet. Clear? Set print area. Say what I would like to do is I want to print from here to here. Then again I want to print from here to here. This is a non-contiguous range. So far we have observed contiguous range. It means continuously in a single page whatever is there it will be printed. But now my intention is to print only the selected portion. So from here to here only it has to be printed. How can I do that? So now set print area. So if you observe, by selecting some portion and click on set print area, my print area has been given with or selected with some particular border. See, a border has been appeared. So this border is indicating me this is my print area. Clear? If you observe, see, up to here only I am able to print on the first page. If you go to the next page, the second portion is getting printed. So this is how we can print a selected area by setting print area. However, you can also clear print area. Now I have cleared the entire print area. Let us move on to the next option called breaks or page breaks. Now if you observe, I am able to print. Okay, let us see the headers. I am able to print up to 76. You can observe. It's fine for me. Okay, just for the sake of information, I am able to print up to 49. Now I want to print up to 28 only, not up to 48 or 49 or 50 watt and so on. Just keep your cursor position up to which point you want to print. Then click print. Insert a page break. As and when you are trying to insert a page break, if you want to insert a page break to the entire line, please keep your cursor position at the starting position of the particular line, not in the middle of the line or middle of the row. If you keep in the middle of the row, what will happen? See, insert a page break. So all horizontal and vertical page breaks will be inserted. But my intention is to insert only a horizontal page break. Reset all page breaks. Now go to 28 page break, insert a page break. Now I want to print up to 27th row. Now if you observe, now I am able to see up to 27. So these are headings. Headings can also be printed. Generally it will be not checked in Excel. You have to check whether you want to print headings or not. See, here is an option called sheet options. So under this, generally it will be like this. If you click Ctrl P, you will not be able to see any headings. Row headings or column headings are not visible over here. If you want to print row and column headers also, say for example you would like to share the sheet to some of your friends or your colleagues or your manager or whoever it is. If you want to discuss something with them, to check with so and so row and so and so column, there is some number which you have to observe. Without these row numbers and column headers or row headers, it is difficult for anyone. If you say something like that, under E17, this is E column, and 17, there is a number called 12385, so can you check it out, that number? You can let them know easily by printing these column headers and row headers. So this is how you can make use of these column headers and row headers. How can we get column headers and row headers? Under sheet options, just print. It will be like this. So check view options, then print options, so that you will be able to see both grid lines and column headers. If you don't want to see grid lines, you can also uncheck this print under grid lines option. So now you will not be able to see the grid lines. You will be able to see only row header and column headers. If you click print, and now you will be able to see all the grid lines too. So this is how you can make use of these functions. However, now I'm unchecking this. Right? We can insert a page break like this. However, as I told you earlier, you cannot drag or drop, or you cannot change the page breaks. The only thing which you can do is you can insert the page break by deleting the existing page break and so on. So remove the page break, you can remove the page break, and you can insert the page break over here. But my intention is to change the page break from one point to another point. How can I do that? The only thing which you can do under normal view is, when you insert any page break, after inserting that, what you have to do is you have to keep your cursor position wherever you have inserted the page break, then delete the page break or remove the page break, then go to another section and insert page break. Clear? So now let us go and check page break preview. This is how your pages will be appear. So if you observe this watermark, this is page 1, page 2, page 3, page 2, then page 3, page 4. This is page 4, page 2 and page 3. You can observe above. See, now you'll be able to see all the pages of watermarks on the same view. Page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is how it look like. You can observe these dotted lines. These dotted lines means these are inserted by the Excel. Whereas if you change this dotted line, so if you observe over here, in page 1, I am able to print up to 50th row and up to column I. But I want to change, or I want to print up to column N in the page 1, and I would also like to change from 50th row to 57th row. How can I do that? Now let us go and change the column. Just keep your cursor position on the dotted line. You will be shown as a black headed arrow or cursor shape. Now click and drag to the respective portion. As and when you click and drag, all other page breaks have also been changed, and the earlier dotted line now has been changed to solid line. The solid line indicates this is the user inserted or modified page break. So you can differentiate whether the page break is inserted by the user or the software or the Microsoft Excel. You can differentiate with solid line versus dotted line. So as and when you changed from column I to N, the entire page setting has been changed. If you observe earlier, my scale is 100%. Now my scale is 68% because general page is up to November if you go with 100% scale. But as and when I change my scale from as and when I change the page break from one section to another section or one portion to another portion, scale will automatically changes. So if you observe, the entire section, the entire portion from here to here will be shown into the single page. If you increase it, this horizontal page break also, now the scale has been changed from 68 to 66. Now if you observe on the page, see, this is how it look like. Clear? So you can also manually adjust the page breaks under page break preview view. This is how the same thing cannot be done in any of the other views. This is how you can manually change the page breaks. Clear? So if you observe, this is page 1, as we have already seen page 1, 2, 3 and 4. If you go and print this page, what will happen? This is page 1, page 2, page 3 and page 4, like this it will come. But now I want to change this page order from page 1, page 2, page 3 and page 4 to 1, 2, 3 and 4. How can I do that? Let us see. Let us go to page setup dialog. Here is an option called, under sheet tab, here is an option called down then over, over then down. Down then over means 1, 2 down, 3 and 4. So the page will be getting down 1, 2, one after another. So if you click over then down, then what will happen? See, this has been changed from 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if you click OK, see, now my page has been changed from page 1 to earlier this page 2 is available over here. So your print option now changed. First this page will be printed, next this page will be printed, next this page will be printed, next this page will be printed. This is how your page will be printed. 1, 2, 3. This page will be printed. Now let's go to 4. This is how your pages will be printed. Earlier our pages are getting printed page 1, page 2, page 3 and page 4, like so on. However, I would like to go with down then over. Click OK. Now see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is how it look like. You can print the pages. Let us go to normal view. Go to page layout. Now we have observed some of the bullet points over here. Use the ruler. We have observed how to use the ruler, how to adjust the ruler. Center the page. We have observed how to center the page. We have also observed set paper size and scale. This is scale, and we have also observed how to set the paper size by selecting margins. Insert and delete page breaks. You can also insert any page break and delete the page break, which we have already observed. Remove the page breaks and insert the page break. Adjust the page breaks, which we have already seen under print page break preview. Clear? That is also done. Print selection. So we have already observed how to print a selected area or select a so set print area. We have set print area, then printed. Now print selection. Let us see the print selection. So now I have selected this area. I want to print from 1 to 16 rows only, but not the entire page. How can I do that? Click on print. But when I select, when I try to print, the entire page is getting printed. Now if you observe under print, there are different options. So the number of copies which you want, how many copies which you would like to print, and the printer, you have to select the printer. Then here there are some options. Settings, print active sheets. So would you like to print all the active sheets? So if you observe, now my active sheet is only page layout. If you just keep your cursor position on any of the pages, or if you change your cursor to any of the pages by selecting it, that particular page, you can print that particular page only. But if my intention is to print more than one page, then what you have to do is hold Control key, then click on the sheets. See, now I have selected not only the page layout view, page layout page or tab, I have selected cells and editing tabs. Now if you use Control P, see, now cells and editing tabs are also getting appeared over here. Why? Because I have selected print active sheets. So if you want to print more than one sheet, the only way is selecting those sheets using Control, then print selected sheets. This is one of the options. Now if you click over here, there are different options. Print entire workbook. If you want to print entire workbook, you can select this option. There is an option called print selection. Now let us go to page layout, select this portion, go to print selection. As and when you select the print selection, you are able to select only this particular portion. This is how you can set print selection. However, you can also select non-contiguous range to print, which we have already observed while we are checking set print area. Now I am not going to set this print area, but I am selected with print selection. Now there are two pages. If you go to second page, this is how without setting the print area I can get the same output like this by selecting the option called print selection. So from which page to which page you want to print. If I want to print from page 1 to page 2, you can print like this. Here there are Here there are 5 pages. If I want to print from one page 1 to page 2, I can print only page 1 to page 2. Now it is like collated or uncollated. Now portrait orientation or landscape orientation, which we have already observed. How would you like to print this page, whether you would like to print this page as portrait orientation or landscape orientation. Now if you would like to print this on A4 paper size or A3 or letter paper size and so on. Also we can observe you would like to print with normal margins, narrow margins, or custom margins, or wide margins. How would you like to print this? If you select any of these, now it is under narrow. If you click normal, it will be changed. See, this is how it will be changed. This will be changed based on your selected margins. the page will be adjusted. Now no scaling. Say which scaling which we have already observed. So no scaling means no scale is applied for this. Fit sheet into the single page. It means if you select this, the entire worksheet will be fit into the single page. However, there is no meaning if you are unable to see the values on the sheet. Fit all columns into single page. This is how you can make use of these functions. Fit all rows into single page. So all these options will shrink the data on the sheet. So these options will help you to fit a single. Now margins, orientation, size, page setup. We have already observed this. Paper size, how do you want to set the paper size? And let us look at header and footer options so that you will be able to see what is this first page number and on so